The Chanel Classic Flap versus the Coach Tabby. Which one would you choose? Hello everyone, welcome back to another mommy review where I review all things for the love of. Today I am doing a comparison between the Chanel Classic Flap versus the Coach Tabby. Now before I get started, if you like the content on this channel, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for considering, and on with the video. Chanel Classic Flap is such a classic, timeless piece that debuted in 1955. This quilted bag is like the signature Chanel, or like a beacon for a lot of people who are handbag lovers. But nowadays, with the price tag associated with a Chanel Classic Flap, I'm not sure if everybody has the budget for it. So for today, I want to have a quick comparison with the Coach Tabby with the quilting to see, is this like a fair, affordable alternative that you should consider adding to your collection? So here, looking at the Chanel website, just to give a little bit of context, this is a classic handbag from Chanel. Of course, has the signature double C on the clasp, as well as the beautiful classic quilting that we all know. Inside there is the double flap, as you can see here, and then of course the strap has a leather intertwine and a smaller slip pocket in the back. With all that said, I think it is a beautiful piece. I know a lot of people see this as an investment handbag because after all it's priced at $12,800, and the price just seems to keep going up and up. It's not necessarily a handbag that you can just get by going into the boutique store and asking for it, so it is quite exclusive. You can see the smaller size is priced $12,275. The large classic has now risen to $13,850, and the maxi is over $14,000 now. Of course, if you're looking for something a bit more affordable, there is the mini flap bag, as well as the mini flap bag that's like rectangular versus square, and those are roughly around $6,000 Canadian nowadays. There are just many different types of materials and variant. Of course, I love the caviar leather associated with Chanel. It's known to be ultra durable, but nowadays I'm just really torn. It is a timeless, versatile, and internally stylish piece, but I don't know if it's ultra practical that is wearable for me to use on a regular basis. And with these outrageous prices, it's just really difficult not to be tempted by alternatives. On average, Chanel price increases around 8 to 12% per year, and I have a hard time justifying splurging on one handbag nowadays, especially with these extravagant prices. And in recent years, with like some concerns associated with the quality issues of the Chanel handbags, I know a lot of loyal Chanel fans are now starting to look elsewhere. Although I know Chanel is undoubtedly the authority in quilted handbags, I do think it's still fair to have a look at what else is out there. So in particular today, I want to have a comparison with Coach and their latest Coach Tabby with quilting. I think it's a really good choice to have a look if you are just wanting to try out the style and seeing if it's worth it for you. Coach has been coming out with some really nice designs over the last few years, so this one just caught my eye. It's newly released. It's a revamp of a handbag that they did a revival of for their archival 1970s Coach design. So this is the beautiful Coach Tabby shoulder bag. It comes in several different sizes, including a wristlet, a 20, 26, and a 33. This is the Coach Tabby crossbody wristlet, priced at $369. Wow, what a big price difference, but I know it's not exactly the same. The quality may not be the same, and at the same time, like, you're also buying into the branding of Chanel and the heritage that it comes with. So it's not necessarily always apples to apples, but I just want to be brutally honest with everyone when we look at handbags that It doesn't necessarily always have to come with extravagant price tag. It could be just something you love and want to use on a regular basis. This is the Coach Tabby shoulder in the 20 size. And then the most popular size out of all of them is the 26 size, priced at $670. And I think this size is a really fair comparison with the classic Chanel flap in the medium size. So this handbag, the 26, the dimensions are 10.25 inch in length, 5.5 inch in height, and 3.25 inch in width. So that's pretty close to the Chanel medium classic flap that is size 10 inches by 6 by 2.5 inches. So you can see here it has compartments built in already for a little bit of organization, and as well it has a second flap inside as well. It's made out of this ultra luxuriously soft Napa leather that is ultra squishable. It's a very classic look. You can see the chain is also intertwined with the leather, and there is a slip pocket in the back, but it's slightly bigger than the classic flap from Chanel. Here's the bottom of the handbag, but overall I think it's a very classic feel. It's definitely a little bit more muted in person as opposed to a more glossy and glowy look when you see it online. I do find that the C logo is quite flashy, so might not be for everybody, but what's not to say that the Chanel classic flaps double C is not flashy as well, right? But if you're looking for something with like black leather with gold hardware, I think this is a great choice to consider. You can see that the quilting is slightly different than the one from the Chanel classic flap. It's kind of something that's unique to Coach, but I think if you're looking for something slightly more affordable that you can try out and see if you like the quilted look as well as the chain strap, this is a great choice. The chain straps allows you to go easily from shoulder to crossbody, just like the Chanel classic flap. They also have the larger size, which is the size 33, that's priced at $725. You can see this one has the gunmetal, but personally I do prefer the brass tone. So you will notice that at the Coach store, it is not like gold hardware. It is like more of a brass muted tone as opposed to, let's say from Chanel, their handbags have more of a gold tint to it. This was released in 2024 for this revival archival handbag. So far there's only limited color selection, but I do imagine over time they may have more like fun colors, especially in the summertime. You will notice as well for this Coach Tabby, like it's soft Napa leather. So I don't think it will be as durable if you compare it to caviar leather from Chanel. So durability and longevity of the handbag is something that I don't think the Coach handbag would necessarily outweigh the Chanel handbag. In terms of resale value, of course you're gonna get better investment in return if you were to resell a Chanel handbag as opposed to a Coach handbag. However, like keep in mind the amount of money that you invest in this handbag in the first place. Like a classic Chanel flap is around $12,000 for a small one, and this one is around like a fraction of the price. Like it's practically $11,000 difference. That's a lot of handbags that you can get with $11,000. At the same time, I'm not saying that for quality sake and craftsmanship that Coach is necessarily on par with Chanel. They have their own problems, their potential defects as well, but the initial investment in terms of the money you spend is much less for a Coach Tabby handbag. So what do you think about this comparison between the Chanel classic flap versus the Coach Tabby? Which would you prefer? I know that like if price wasn't an issue, most people probably would go with Chanel, but like I think that given some of us who are more of a budget, I think Coach provides a really beautiful, feasible alternative to consider if you love quilted bags and that beautiful chain intertwined with leather. My only caveat is that if Coach could produce this handbag, but not necessarily in soft napa leather, but something a little bit more durable, that will be awesome. At the same time, not super in love with the large C logo in the front, so I wonder if there's a way they can redesign the logo. Overall, execution wise, I think this is a really timeless piece. They have so many different sizes and color variation combination available. I can see this being very popular in the coming months and years to come. So that's it for my review today. If you have any experience with either of these brands, I would love to hear from you, especially like latest quality for Chanel Classic Flap, or maybe for this newest handbag from Coach, the Coach Tabby with quilting. I would love to hear your comments below. And that is it for now. Thank you so much for joining me on another mommy review, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and stay safe, everyone. Bye for now.